Hello friends, welcome back to Toy Cafe. I am your host, and in this video we're putting together another miniature dollhouse kit. This time it is a tiny little room that is just simply adorable. Look at that thing. And yeah, it's a complete kit, so it all comes ready to go. All you gotta do is assemble. That's all you gotta do. A little bit of sarcasm there, because that's quite a bit. The kits really just save you from hunting around for all the little pieces that you need, but that's about all they save you from. Everything else you still have to do yourself, which is the fun of the thing, so we'll get into this. The instructions on this one were pretty good, and they also included the paper pieces you needed for the walls, because the kit was so small. Yeah, just an adorable little thing. So we'll get started with the walls and the floors again, like we usually do. Get those pieces of paper in there, and if you're not familiar with the way I put together these kits, I like to leave the pieces of paper that I glue to the wood slightly oversized and then trim them down to match. That way you get complete coverage even if the prints aren't quite the perfect size, as usually they aren't quite perfect. Usually they err on the side of caution and print them just a touch too big, which is perfect. So you get a nice, beautiful wall with lovely wallpaper. But that's neither here nor there. So let's get this window in here. I was really impressed with the fit and finish of this kit. A lot of kits you'll have to sand and squeeze things to get them to fit together, straighten them out, fix warps. But on this kit, everything seemed to slide together very nicely. There was a little bit of a gap on that window, instead of what usually happens where the window is too big and you have to sand it down. So yeah, better to err on that side, a little bit too loose than too tight. But this one was just about perfect. Get the tweezers out there, get those little tiny pieces of wood together. Lots and lots of glue. This is Beacon Hill 3-in-1 glue that I'm using. And I prefer it because instead of, say, white glue, which is water-based, the 3-in-1 glue is not water-based, so it doesn't wet the material, which can be a plus, especially when you're using wood and paper. And also, it's very tacky and very thick, a lot like hot melt glue. But it has a longer setup time, at least 10 to 30 seconds. After you put two pieces together, you can still move them around, so it gives you lots of leeway, where hot melt glue, almost immediately it's stuck. Yeah, so it's almost the best of both worlds. Almost, but not quite. Get those bunk beds together. Bunk beds here are a little bit simple, but the splash of color there really makes them pop and makes them look great. I really like that. And I think you see that throughout this whole kit, is the use of color is very minimalistic, but at the same time it really adds to the entire decor. Makes the whole thing look fun and youthful. Yeah. These are very excitable young children who live in this room. They're excited, they're happy, they're always on the go. Now here we're making covers for the beds, little blankets, and I'm doing a little tri-fold here to try to get the most out of the material without having to fold things over on top of themselves. So right in the middle, I'm folding it one way, and then I'm going to add a little more glue and fold it back the other way. And there it looks like it's a blanket that's been folded back on itself, but in reality it's only has a little wrinkle right there in the middle, and we can save on quite a bit of material there if you're running short. It's a great way to do it. It does look better to do the actual fold like it's a proper blanket. Wherever possible, it's best to do things the way they are in real life in your miniatures. But if you're pressed for material or space or whatever, there are lots of little cheats you can do to make things work out nice and look pretty good, even if they're not quite realistic. So here we're putting this shelf together. I'm using the two little shelves as spacers to place that middle shelf. That worked out pretty well. And again, the sizing on this was pretty good. Usually when you get something like this, nothing will be quite the right size, and you'll have to sand something. But no, this was just about perfect in this kit, which is fantastic. Little boxes to go in the open cube. Those are adorable little things. I really like these. Little handles there. Yeah, they look fantastic. Look at that. It looks so good. And easy to assemble, nothing too difficult. Yeah, this whole kit is like that. Lots of little details that look great, but nothing really all that difficult or unusual. Yeah, it's like it takes all of the best bits of other kits and puts them all together into an adorable little package. Got to get our flowers on there. The flowers are made mostly out of beads, but they look awesome. They look like fake flowers, but they look like real fake flowers. So full-size fake flowers. Yeah, that's what I'll say. Full-size fake flowers, real fake flowers. What is that? That's nonsense. Got a chair together there. I believe we're putting together a little desk as well. Yep. Getting the top on there. And here you can see we're cutting corners again. Like the drawers don't work and the drawer fronts are just a facade and there's no proper apron on the desk. And with miniatures you can really get away with that kind of thing because as much as you want them to be realistic, no one is ever actually going to get in there and lean on that desk unless you have a little doll, and dolls are usually much lighter than people, so you can cut corners and take shortcuts and sometimes fake things to look one way when they're really not. Yeah, which is lots of fun with miniatures. We'll just lace this 5 miles of cable through this table here. This is something I'm always on the fence about, whether or not to show the wires or not show the wires. In this kit, they're doing their best to hide the wires completely, and that does seem realistic because usually when you look around a room, you don't notice the wires. It's something your brain kind of fuzzes out when you look around any room. They're there, they're hooked up to all the lamps and all the other appliances, but you just learn to ignore them. But for some reason, when they're in a little miniature kit, if you can see the wires, they just stand right out. Maybe it's because they're so much thicker than they would be if they were in perfect scale, or if they were the same color, like a solid black instead of being white or gray. I'm not sure what it is, but hiding them seems to be gives the kit more of a feel like real life, even though it is contrary to what you have in real life. So I don't know, maybe I'll figure out a way to do scale extension cords in my kits one day, but for now, I'm just going to keep hiding the wires as best I can. Little flowers on the bunk beds, get our iPhone in there, a book, a Polaroid camera. Yeah, I forget about that, a little clock. Yeah, so the person that lives in this little room, at least on the top bunk, likes photography with their little Polaroid and has a iPhone, which is a meeting of old and new technology there. So likes vintage stuff. I think the person on the bottom might be the younger sibling. They don't have quite as much of their own stuff going. Maybe they're the one that likes music on their iPad. Yeah, lots of pictures too. Pictures really add a lot to a room, especially if they have a frame or something around them to make them stand out. They really fill up the space, keep it from feeling empty. Got a little purse there. That's just fabric over paper. Same with this bag. That came out really nice. Yeah, this bag too, the little tote. Yeah, a little book there, a Japanese book. There we go. Like I said, nothing too complex, nothing too unusual. But it all comes together to make a really adorable little room. It's just fantastic. Yeah. On the cover of that little Japanese book is a guma. A guma? Not a goomba, but a guma. Yeah. It's from Japanese culture. I have no idea what they're for. I just heard the name once. Yeah, so the girl on the bottom likes to read too. I'm assuming it's a little girl. It's a fashion magazine. It might be a boy. Boys can like fashion too. Here it is, lit up at night. Just the one lamp in this one, so not a whole lot of lights to look at, but yeah, I think it looks pretty realistic. You can imagine the little boy or girl there studying away at the desk, getting their homework done in the middle of the night, when they should have done it earlier instead of playing around outside. And it's late now, and they're trying to get it all done in time. Not that I have any personal experience with that. Okay, so that's been this adorable little room. I hope you enjoyed that, and if you did enjoy that, please consider subscribing and hitting the little bell icon so you know whenever I have a new video. And if you really like these videos and what I'm doing, please consider hitting one of the Amazon links down in the description there. And if you buy some of the supplies I have linked there, or anything at all, after you hit that link at Amazon, Amazon will kick back a few dollars to me, and I will use that to help make more videos. But in the meantime, I want to say thanks for watching. Bye-bye.